the just flurry of opinions going on with Alear lately, I wanted to add into that and just share a bit about why I'm really excited for Engage, but why I'm excited for Alear specifically. The first part of why I'm excited is the same for the first part of why a lot of people are excited or annoyed or whatever it is. I like Alear's design. I think that they're both well designed, drawn well, but also compelling and kind of cool looking. And in a weird way, right, that we're not used to. But I like that they didn't just go for the same like gradient ombre that Fire Emblem Heroes uses. I like that the artists of Fire Emblem Engage actually tried something brand new. First off, because I think trying things that are new and taking those risks is important, but it's actually also cool because there wasn't a worry that this might not be something that everyone likes. It was about trying something new. And this game is largely a love letter to the Fire Emblem 30th anniversary. It's the biggest thing that I want to keep in mind going forward and talking about this game, because I think the story might not be amazing, but all of these different things that show up will be nice framed in that perspective. Because it's not about like, oh, there's a fell dragon, it's about, oh, there's a fell dragon like awakening, you know? So, with that in mind, the fact that Alear just stands out from all the other lords, if they had blue hair, they would kind of fall in line with a lot of other ones. If they had red hair, they might fall in line. Even if they had white hair, they would just go back to the OG, like, avatar. Well, they would go back to the Robin and Corrin days of the customizable avatars. This is a way for Alear to completely stand out while also feeling Fire Emblem-esque. But I love the imperfections of it. I like that male Alear and female Alear have their hair patterned differently. Just their eyes and hair flip. They're mirrored. But also, I like that it's not like all red and all blue. I like the streaks and the imperfections going in both ways. Also, Alear has red eyelashes. It's not like one eye's blue and one eye's red, or most of them are red, but there are some blue. Like, their eyelashes are red. And that's interesting. Like, everything else is this imperfect mix, but the eyelashes are like this red, and it draws the eye to it, because it's like, why is this consistent? Why is this the same? And it really makes, I don't know, it makes it so that those little things in Alear stand out, because there's such that big, like, obvious area of contention for a lot of people. Alear sticks out really easily, but they stick out so much that they stick out from themselves, and that's what's really cool to me. I like both male and female. I really like female's hairstyle, but male, I like his animations, and female is just really the only animation we've seen is from a support clip, and she's kind of just standing there. We haven't really seen her animated too much, so I'm looking forward to seeing her in battle. I don't know which version I like better yet. Right now I'm leaning male, but again, that's just because I've seen him in his critical quote and stuff. I've had more time to kind of see where it goes. On the box art, they both look great with their hair flowing and stuff. I actually really like the look of Alear, but that's not the only reason that I'm straight up excited for this avatar, because I don't like avatar protagonists personally, but Alear has already shown that they're voiced in the trailers and in supports, and that's a good sign to me, because if we're gonna get avatars, I don't want the characters that are completely blank, like you get Corrin, where everyone loves Corrin right after they meet them, and the spin-offs made me like Corrin more, so I'm not trying to speak poorly of them as a character. But when I was first playing as Corrin, I was annoyed that the second I walked into a room, everyone knew me and loved me. When I was playing as Robin, I had a hobby that just happened to fit everybody in the army. Like, whoever I talked to, I did the same things as them in my free time, or we hung out, we had a similar sense of humor, whatever it was. Everyone just liked Robin. Byleth is sitting there silently, and oftentimes getting things wrong. Like, the game will ask you a question or a prompt, and you can say whatever you want, but you can say objectively the wrong thing, and they don't listen to what you say, but the characters will still look at you and talk to you like you're a genius for it, and that bothered me too. But Shez, the one right before Alear, Shez can straight up get things wrong, and the characters will call them out. Shez has flaws. Shez isn't invited to the war table meetings all the time. The characters talk about how Shez gets confused in situations like that. Shez gets made fun of a little bit, and maybe it's rude or maybe it's sad, but it's really, it only seems rude because it's the avatar. They talk about each other like that all the time. So honestly, for Shez to have a flaw like that shows that they're a person, and the reason they're so respected by the cast is because they're trying to improve themselves, and they confront those issues like the other avatars don't really ever do. So if we're going forward from a character like Shez who earns it, I feel a lot more optimistic. And I'm sure Alear will be kind of a blank slate at the beginning due to amnesia and also due to the fact that this game is going to be just 30 years worth of references. But as we start to see what makes Alear Alear, I think there will be something there. I think Alear, I mean, from the name, Alear comes from an old word for alloy, which is melting two metals into one. So I think that references things like Alear and Marth's fusion, or just the emblems as a whole that this game is run off of. But also, I think it might give us an indication that Alear is it's kind of like a secondary personality. In any friendship, Alear is taking the back seat, and the friend is really driving the car. That sort of a person, and that's fine for a main character at first. But at some point, Alear is going to have to step it up if I'm even right in that direction. And I think when we see that, we'll see who Alear really is when the ball gets rolling, and that's a character I'm excited for. The one who seems passive, but actually will take a hard stance and will make these big, bold moves. That's what makes me kind of hopeful for Alear. And since this game seems very likely there are 4 other lords, like each of the 4 nations has a prince or a princess or a noble of some sort that joins our team, I don't think there is a leader outside of Alear. And, of course, Alear's friends are going to call the shots for the most part, but I feel like there's going to be a moment in that where Alear really steps it up. And seeing how Shez was handled, I actually feel hopeful that Alear might be handled as a character, just as well as an avatar. It also does bring us to what an avatar really is, which it isn't supposed to be like us. You don't need to be a blank slate. All you are is a being in a world that me from a different world, I can step in and control you. You don't have to actually be me. You don't have to have the same history as me or the same likes or preferences. So the fact that they did that with like Robin and Corrin and took away so much from the character just to make it so that I could say that it was me, when in fact all an avatar needs to do is learn at the same rate as me, was a little bit disheartening, I think. But this is a new direction, and I'm really excited for it. I think this could be really great. And of course, let me know your thoughts. But for now, thank you, everybody, and until the next time I see you again.